Hello, my name is Blake Patterson, and welcome to Real Values. On this week's episode, I discuss the best films of 1985. Now, here are a few honorable mentions: Brazil, Mishima, A Life in Four Chapters, Reanimator, Showa, and Silver Bullet. Number 10, Ran. This is one of those great films where you have to tag along with it for a little while before it becomes an absolute burst of haunted energy in every color and action that appears so elegantly on screen. Of the films that were inspired by Shakespeare, Ran is one of the very few that takes a Shakespeare play and gives it a palpably affecting sense of mortality in how it follows its lead character, especially his psychological state in his winter years, and the people surrounding him, particularly his dysfunctional relationship with his sons. Number 9, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. My mother will likely laugh knowing that Tim Burton's directorial debut is in this list, but here is a joyously inventive movie that takes the childlike wit of Pee Wee Herman and elevates him to a metatextual realm that is both hilarious and genuine in how far it goes. For some, especially my mother, the movie might be obnoxious to the point of being tiresome, but it is a classic that continues to endure due to its imaginative and infectious spirit. Number 8, The Purple Rose of Cairo. Here is one of those movies that I suspect many people from my generation have likely not seen due to its director, Woody Allen. That said, this charming and surprisingly moving comedy drama blurs the overbearing frustrations of life with the bliss of escapist entertainment. The film's sense of fantasy and romance through the clever writing and committed performances, particularly by Mia Farrow and Jeff Daniels, is effortless. Number 7, Witness. This cultural clash romance within a crime thriller is one of the most beautifully crafted and exciting genre films of its era because it is directed by a master who, at his best, understands the musicality of a scene's rhythm when also considering the elegance of an interior or exterior setting. From the building of the barn sequence to the finale, Witness is a film that will have you gripped by the intensity of its violence and the tragic warmth of its central relationship, which is credibly portrayed by Harrison Ford and Kelly McGillis. Number 6, To Live and Die in L.A. Of the movies I list here, William Friedkin's To Live and Die in L.A. might be the most indicative of the 80s due to its aesthetic and sensibility. From Wang Chung's soundtrack to the stylish decor, here is an exciting neo-noir thriller that reminds you of why Friedkin was a master of directing lived-in set pieces with a proper rhythm and being unafraid in his nuanced view of morally ambiguous characters who defied any basic archetypes we often see in movies like this. The performances, especially by William Peterson and Willem Dafoe, are compelling within the parameters of their characters and completely mesh with the mood of Friedkin's framework. Number 5, Day of the Dead. If you have known me for a while, you will know how much I care about George A. Romero's original 3 Dead films, for what he accomplished through each of them by adjusting the zombies to meet his thematic motivation. In the case of Day of the Dead, Romero takes the nature versus nurture dynamic and goes further than that by conveying the ugliness of masculinity through some of the most hateful soldiers you have ever seen on film. Then he challenges your view of them in a finale so disturbing that it annoyed several critics at the time. It might not be my favorite of the 3 original films, but it is certainly the most terrifying. Number 4, Mask. The story of a teenager with a facial deformity and his biker gang mom trying to live a normal life might sound like a corny Hallmark film with a stereotypical view of its characters. Directed by the great Peter Bogdanovich, Mask is a sensitively considered and acted piece of storytelling that allows these characters to exist without reducing them to conventions. Even when the film covers familiar situations, there is a freshness to its execution due to the direction, script, and a wonderful cast including Eric Stoltz, Cher, and Sam Elliott. Number 3, Back to the Future. This is without a doubt the most popular film I have on this list because it has become one of those significant American films that is shown to kids at a young age due to its genuine sense of traditionalism and inventive handling of time travel. It is one of the key masterpieces by Robert Zemeckis during a period when he was making comedies that managed to balance human feeling with visual effects fluidly without letting the toys take over the emotional core. Watching it now is a pleasant reminder of what made Zemeckis a great classicist filmmaker. Number 2, Lost in America. Taking the inspiration of Easy Rider and applying it to yuppies who want to be free from their usual problems, Albert Brooks writes and directs a hilarious satire of a couple that struggles to live on their own terms when Brooks's David Howard learns that his wife, played wonderfully by Julie Haggerty, is a gambling addict, which results in a series of obstacles for them. Through every anxiety and frustration, Brooks delivers a perfect performance in how he manages his character's emotional range comedically. For all its humor, Lost in America is also an elegantly choreographed piece of filmmaking, especially in its sense of isolation in some scenes. And number 1, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. Some will likely call this a 1984 release, but it was technically released in the US in 1985. Anyway, Hayao Miyazaki's magnum opus is a work of such stunning detail and genuine warmth. You get lost in the imagery of its animation and appreciate every enveloping moment of the titular character's journey to bring peace to her futuristic, post-apocalyptic world. The dynamic of nature and decay is as beautifully considered as the characters Miyazaki creates, and the movie leaves you with an overwhelming sense of exhilaration and hope. In chaotic times like ours, a feel-good achievement like this is comforting in its worldview. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great night.